Welcome to the Morning Update. I'm Erin Roan. Israel's Prime Minister has warned of a protracted war with Hamas as the conflict in the Middle East intensifies. Benjamin Netanyahu has met with the US Secretary of State in Tel Aviv, with the US promising its ongoing support. He says this is a time where every person must stand against evil.
America is taking that stand. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, America, for standing with Israel today, tomorrow, and always.
More than 6,000 bombs have been dropped on Gaza in the last week alone, with the death toll in the tiny territory rising to 1,400. Antony Blinken says Israel has the right to defend itself after the weekend attacks, but says innocent civilians should not be targeted.
We democracies distinguish ourselves from terrorists by striving for a different standard, even when it's difficult, and holding ourselves to account when we fall short. Our humanity, the value that we place on human life, that's what makes us who we are.
It comes as the United Nations warns the situation in Gaza is critical, with food and water running out. Israel is refusing to open humanitarian supply lines until all hostages taken by Hamas over the weekend are freed. To other news, yes and no campaigners are making their final pitch to voters ahead of tomorrow's referendum on the Indigenous voice to Parliament. In order for the referendum to be successful, it needs a double majority, which means support from the majority of voters across at least 4 states. If you want to avoid the crowds tomorrow, early voting centres are open until 6 p.m. today. New Zealanders head to the polls in the country's national election this weekend, experts tipping the Conservative National Party to win there. And South Korea has named its twin pandas, marking 100 days since their birth. Rui Bao and Huey Bao were born on July 7 and are yet to make their public debut. The female cubs' names translate to mean wise treasure and shining treasure. Sport and entertainment is up next. At the Men's One-Day Cricket World Cup, South Africa has taken a 134-run win over Australia, the Proteas making 311, Australia all out for 177 in reply. Skipper Pat Cummins says they were well off the mark.
Not much needs to be said tonight. I think everyone's hurting. So we've got a few days. The next game's here as well. So we'll regroup and, everyone's hurting. So we'll try and make amends.
And in netball, the Aussie Diamonds have beaten New Zealand by 10 points in the opening game of their Constellation Cup series. In entertainment news, it is the next best thing for Taylor Swift fans who missed out on tickets to next year's tour of Australia. Her Eras tour movie opens today after thousands turned out for the world premiere in LA.
Every single person in this theatre has been hand-selected and hand-picked and invited to this night because you've shown some sort of extra type of support for this tour. And I appreciate that more than you could possibly know.
And a close friend of Bruce Willis has shared a devastating update on his health, saying the actor is now losing the ability to speak. Moonlighting director Glenn Gordon-Caron says the 68-year-old is no longer able to enjoy some of his favourite hobbies either. That's the latest from the Nova Podcasts team. We'll see you later on for another episode of The Update.